Hey everybody, and welcome to Spiritman Network, and thanks for joining in to another podcast on Spiritman Network. I'm Mike Taylor, where we unlock people's stories. And today I'm with David Gamboa from Elijah Rising, and I want to jump in to what you're all about, David, in the ministry here at Elijah Rising, because at Spiritman Network, we really talk about unlocking people's stories, and we take that from Proverbs 20:27. That the spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward places of his heart. So everyone has a story, but what people really don't realize is that they're in God's story right now. And so tell me a little bit about Elijah Rising and what God is working out within that story.
Yeah, well, first off, thank you for having us. We're honored to share what God is doing through Elijah Rising. Elijah Rising, we initially, started out as just a prayer movement or prayer meeting. In fact, we're in our prayer room right now. Prayer has always been a foundation to what we do, but our main focus is combating what's called human trafficking. And a lot of people get that confused with human smuggling. And where we focus on is particularly, women, young girls, young boys, even men on some occasions that we see being sold for sex.
Right.
And so we started praying about this issue, and soon enough, we had a number of people begin to come to our midnight prayer meetings. And after we began praying, we realized, well, we can't just pray. We have to actually go out and do something. And as we began to go, we began to just uncover, how deep of an issue this was in our city, which is Houston, Texas. And as we began going, we just began to uncover problems. Have women on the street being sold, and they would want to escape or want to leave into a new life, but there was no shelters at the time. There was no place for them to go. So then we began to just kind of figure out, okay, how do we fill those gaps? And thus, here we are today where, we have kind of four main focuses. It's prayer, it's bringing awareness to the city, so educating people about what human trafficking is, what it looks like. We do outreach, we call it intervention, because we actually go to brothels, to the streets, to these shady clubs and apartments and hotels, and try to reach women primarily that are being sold there. And then on the back end of that, we also provide a 2-year program. So we provide housing, food, medical care, clinical therapy to women who have come out of a trafficking situation, and they're on that journey of healing to, the goal is independent living, where they're able to, perhaps be reunited with their children, be living in an apartment, have a stable job with, a vision for what they want to do in the future.
Right. So we're talking to David Gamboa right now from Elijah Rising. And tell me a little bit about your infrastructure here. Who leads the organization? A little bit about the genesis of how it got started, and where did the name Elijah Rising come from?
Yeah, so, my wife, Micah, she's actually the executive director of Elijah Rising. And she was here, when it was kind of at the foundational stages. It was just this prayer meeting that happened at, midnight, and a bunch of young people began to just come and pray for the issue of human trafficking.
Wow.
And eventually, it became this formal thing. And so we decided, this is going to become, a 501c3 nonprofit ministry. And at that stage, we had to figure out, okay, what are we going to be called? And in the meeting, Elijah Rising came up because throughout Scripture, we see Elijah being associated with someone who really stands up and advocates on behalf of God to the political,
Right.
sphere with,
Right.
Well,
he challenges the prophets of Baal.
Yeah.
He challenges them to light the
duel.
Yeah, right. He duels them and challenges the prophets of Baal to light this wet wood on fire.
Yeah.
Right? And he says, well, where is your God? You know, and then he continues to say, what, is he maybe relieving himself? Is he on vacation?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not seeing your God at work right now. And then he calls down fire from heaven.
Yeah, fire from heaven.
And then to set this wood on fire, and the prophets of Baal were left speechless, right?
Yeah.
So, and so what a unique name. And Elijah really is very appropriate because he does speak so much on for the children of Israel to be purified and to live a holy life. And from what you're saying about Elijah rising and helping these young women who are going through human trafficking, is that you're helping them in a holistic way, in mind, body, and spirit.
Absolutely.
I'm hearing that you're getting them out of the situation, you're going into communities, and then you're giving them a way out to succeed within the community overall. So I'm here with David Gamboa of Elijah Rising, and we're going to come back from this in just a quick moment, okay?